Hi, this is B.V. Ramana. Welcome to B.V. Ramana English Grammar. In this video, I would like to share with you the topic linkers for joining the ideas of contrast. Here, the important point is that whenever you think of linkers, you have to think of the relationship that is present between the ideas. For each relationship, there is a particular set of linkers. Here, the relationship that we are going to discuss is contrast. And let us see what are the linkers that can be used for expression of the relationship that is contrast between the ideas. Well, now let us see what is the meaning of contrast. Whenever we have the two ideas, and one of the two ideas is an unexpected result, then the two ideas of the sentences are said to be in contrast with each other. Look at the example. When you hear I worked hard, generally we expect that I would pass. But what happened? I failed. That means I failed is an unexpected result. So then these two ideas are said to be in contrast. Whenever we hear it was very cold, then what is the expected action? We would like to stay indoors. But what happened? He went out. So the result he went out is an unexpected action. So these two ideas or two sentences are considered to be in contrast with each other. Here the contrast shows the differences when the two ideas or things or persons are compared. Let us see one more example. I bought a pen. My brother bought a pencil. These are the sentences showing the contrast. So here the contrast shows the differences when two ideas or things or persons are compared. So far you have seen what is the meaning of contrast. Now let us see what are the different linkers that can be used for description of contrast. They include but, yet, whereas, while. These are the coordinating conjunctions. Next set, though, although, even if, notwithstanding that, in spite of the fact that. These are the subordinating conjunctions. In spite of, despite, notwithstanding. These are the prepositions or phrase prepositions. However, nevertheless, nonetheless, still, even so, on the contrary, on the other hand, etc. are the conjunctive adverbs. So these are the different linkers that can be used for description of contrast. Right, let us see how the coordinating conjunctions such as but, yet, whereas, while can be used for description of contrast. Right, let us begin with an example. He is poor, he is happy. Here there is a relationship of contrast between these two sentences or ideas. ఇక్కడ కానీ అయినప్పటికీ అనే ఐడియాని ఈ రెండు వాక్యాల మధ్య మనం చూడవచ్చు. ఇప్పుడు ఈ ఐడియాస్ని మనం ఎలా వ్యక్తీకరించవచ్చో ఎక్స్ప్రెస్ చేయొచ్చో చూద్దాం. He is poor but he is happy. Here but is used before the second action or state and it is preceded by a comma. In this sentence, the relationship of contrast is expressed with the usage of yet. He is poor yet he is happy. Here yet is placed before the second state or action and it is preceded by a comma. Here another set of example. He is poor, his brother is rich. Here we have the relationship of contrast, but the subjects are different. Then how can we join these two sentences? He is poor, but his brother is rich. Here but is used. He is poor, whereas his brother is rich. Here whereas is used. He is poor while his brother is rich. Here while is used. So but, whereas, while are used for the expression of the relationship of contrast when we have the two sentences where the subjects are different. All these conjunctions are preceded by commas. So far you have seen how the coordinating conjunctions can be used for expression of the relationship of contrast that is present between the two ideas. Now let us see the subordinating conjunctions, how these conjunctions can be used for joining the two ideas that have the relationship of contrast. Let us see how the subordinating conjunctions can be used as linkers to join the ideas of contrast. Look at this example. He is poor, he is happy. Here, these two sentences have the idea of contrast. Out of these two sentences, he is poor will be the first occurring sentence and he is happy will be the second occurring sentence. Here, the subordinating conjunctions though, although, even though, even if, notwithstanding that, in spite of the fact that will be used before the first occurring sentence, that is, he is poor. So the answers we will get like this. Though he is poor, comma, he is happy. Although he is poor, comma, he is happy. Even though he is poor, he is happy. Even if he is poor, comma, he is happy. In spite of the fact that he is poor, he is happy. Notwithstanding that he is poor, he is happy. In this way, the subordinating conjunctions as linkers will go before the first occurring sentence. Now let us see how the prepositions or phrase prepositions can be used for joining the ideas of contrast. Here, the in spite of, despite, notwithstanding will be used for the joining of ideas of contrast. Well, now let us see how the ideas of contrast can be joined together with the prepositions or phrase prepositions. Look at these sentences. These sentences have the idea of contrast. Here, out of these two sentences, he is poor is the first occurring sentence, first happening sentence, and he is happy will be the second occurrence sentence. So now the phrase prepositions or prepositions will be placed before the first occurring sentence, like he is poor. While writing the answers with prepositions or phrase prepositions, we have to write noun form or gerund form immediately after these prepositions or phrase prepositions. Let us have a look at these examples. Here are the prepositions that can be used to join together the idea of contrast, in spite of, despite, and notwithstanding. In spite of poverty, he is happy. Here, after the phrase preposition in spite of, we have placed the noun form. We have written the noun form, that is poverty. So poor becomes poverty. And now it can also be written with the gerund form. That means in spite of being poor, he is happy will be the other alternative answer. Now with the preposition despite, same structure can be used. Despite poverty, he is happy. Despite being poor, he is happy. Now notwithstanding his poverty, he is happy. In this way, whenever we use the phrase prepositions or prepositions, we have to write noun form or gerund forms. Right, now let us see how the conjunctive adverbs can be used for joining the ideas of contrast. Here, one important thing is that these conjunctive adverbs are adverbs in form, but in function, they do the function of coordinating conjunctions. That means they join together two main clauses. That is the reason these conjunctive adverbs are considered to be the coordinating conjunctions in old grammar books, but in new grammar books, they are considered only as conjunctive adverbs. Now let us see what are the different conjunctive adverbs which can be used for joining the ideas of contrast. However, nevertheless, nonetheless, still, even so, on the contrary, on the other hand are some of the conjunctive adverbs. Here, look at the example sentences. He is poor, he is happy. Here, he is poor is the first occurring sentence and he is happy will be the second occurrence sentence. Here, these conjunctive adverbs are placed before the second occurring sentence. Now, what about the punctuation marks? Let us see in the next slide. Right, now let us have examples. He is poor, he is happy. Here, he is poor and he is happy are the two ideas or two sentences of contrast. So they are joined together with the conjunctive adverb however. Here, however is considered to be the coordinating conjunction as we see in the old grammar books. That is the reason however is preceded by a comma. In the second sentence, however is considered to be the conjunctive adverb. That is the reason it is preceded by a semicolon and followed by a comma. And the other alternative form of the however is in the third sentence. Here it introduces the second occurring sentence, that is he is happy, but here it is separated by a comma. In the same way, nevertheless can be used. Similarly, nonetheless can be used in the same way. Right, here we can find some more conjunctive adverbs joining the sentences or ideas of the contrast like this. He is poor, still he is happy. Here still is the conjunctive adverb, but here it is considered to be the coordinating conjunction as we find in old grammar books. So it is preceded by a comma. But as conjunctive adverb, it is preceded by semicolon and followed by a comma. It can also be seen like this, as in third sentence. That means it is seen introducing the second occurring sentence. Here still is separated by a comma. In the same way, even so or even then can be written. Right, now let us see what is the difference between on the other hand and on the contrary for joining the ideas of contrast. Look at this sentence. He is poor. On the other hand, he is happy. Here, on the other hand, joins the two sides of the statement, whereas on the contrary also joins the ideas of the contrast, but here it presents the second occurring sentence, but it makes the first occurring sentence as false. That means it makes the first occurring sentence untrue. Look at this. They say that he is poor. On the contrary, he is rich. That means whatever he said previously will be false with the introduction of on the contrary. That is the difference. Look at this another example. He is poor. On the other hand, his brother is rich. He is poor. On the contrary, his brother is rich. Here, on the other hand, on the contrary will do the same function when the two ideas have two different subjects. So here we do not find much difference when we have two subjects in two different sentences or in two different ideas. These sentences can also be written alternatively like this. Here is exercise 1. Rewrite the sentences as directed. In spite of hard work, I failed. Use although. I helped him, but he harmed me. Here you can make use of in spite of the fact that. The weather was bad, still we played cricket. Use despite. I like football, whereas he likes cricket. Use while. He is very poor, yet he helps others. use nevertheless. He ran fast, however, he could not win the race. Here use though. What will be the answers? First you try and check the answers given below. Here are the answers for exercise 1. Although I worked hard, I failed. In spite of the fact that I helped him, he harmed me. Despite bad weather, we played cricket. I like football while he likes cricket. He is very poor, nevertheless, he helps others. Though he ran fast, he could not win the race. Right, here is the exercise number 2. Join the sentences without using and but. Here are some of the sentences where you can find a relationship of contrast between two ideas. So these ideas can be joined together with the linkers meant for joining the ideas of contrast. Let us have answers on the next slide. Here are the example answers. You can rewrite the answers with other linkers of the contrast. Here is exercise number 3. Fill in the blanks with appropriate linkers given in the bracket. Here are the answers for exercise number 3. For the first example, the answer is although. In the second example, however, will be the right answer. And in the third example, on the other hand, will be the right answer. And in the fourth example, on the contrary, will be the right answer. And in the fifth example, despite is the right answer. Do you really think this video is useful? Then please subscribe to my channel by tapping the subscribe button on YouTube. It gives an encouragement for doing more videos. Thank you very much for watching. Namaste.